The Six Paths versus Gaara, who would win this fight? The goal of this video is to explain whether Gaara would win. He only truly wins if he reaches Nagato, the seventh pain, and defeats him, but let's see if he can take down the six paths first. Deva Path, Tendo gravitational power, manipulates gravitational forces with two legendary jutsus. Shinra, Tensei, divine push, repels everything around him. Banshu Tenan, divine pull, draws the enemy or objects directly toward pain, used to restrain, disarm, or prepare for a fatal blow. Chibaku Tensei, a black sphere of extreme gravity that pulls everything around it, creating a miniature moon. Asura Path, mechanical power, a body transformed into a true living weapon, capable of opening itself to release missiles, blades, and lasers. It possesses superhuman strength. Human Path, Soul Reader, Nagato's silent executioner. With just a touch to someone's head, he can read all their memories and immediately afterward rip out their soul. It's the most terrifying interrogation technique. No escape, no lies. Animal Path Summoner, the master of summons, can summon colossal creatures, all with the Rinnegan and total obedience. Dogs that multiply, giant invisible chameleons, centipedes, explosive birds, and even a panda used as a shield. The Gakido, Absorber, the ultimate shield, can absorb any ninjutsu, fire, water, or even pure chakra attacks. Naruto Path, Nagato's guardian of justice, can summon the king of hell, a demonic head surrounded by flames that judges truth. Can revive any destroyed path, restoring its body and chakra. It's the support and healer of the six paths. What makes the group almost immortal? And remember, their vision is shared. Everything one sees, the others know. Automatic sand, instinctive defense. Gaara's most iconic ability. The sand protects him automatically without him even noticing danger. It reacts on its own as if it has a will of its own. Sand shield, even without relying on automatic defense. Gaara can manually create barriers and walls of sand. He controls the flow, thickness, and density with surgical precision, creating shield forms, domes, or even a full-body armor. Sand tsunami, one of Gaara's large-scale jutsus. He creates a massive wave of sand swallowing everything in front of him. This technique can bury entire battalions and turn any terrain into a desert, allowing him to fight in total advantage. After that, he can use Sabaku Taisu, compressing tons of sand at once and crushing everything under pressure. Desert sand, a technique that allows Gaara to levitate and move through the air, supported by sand. He literally floats over the battlefield. As Kazekage, Gaara also masters sealing techniques based on sand. He can imprison enemies inside compact spheres, keeping them completely paralyzed and sealed within an impenetrable cocoon. Gaara versus Pain, the desert versus the six paths. Pain begins the battle with the Asura Path, launching his mechanical weapons and missiles toward the Kazekage, but that wouldn't work. Gaara has already blocked far more powerful and faster bombs inside his sand sphere, and those were launched by Deidara, a true specialist in explosive and aerial attacks. The human path would try to approach and rip Gaara's soul, while the animal path would summon its creatures. But the human path wouldn't even get close. Gaara is known for capturing enemies before any direct contact, and the human path doesn't have the speed to escape sand attacks coming from all directions. He'd be crushed by the sand coffin in seconds. With so many summons on the field, the animal path tries to turn the tide, but Gaara wouldn't just stay on the ground. He can fly, and all the summons would be useless, since they're ground-based. The only flying one is the giant bird. But Gaara could trap it inside his sand sphere, capture it, and crush it right after. Meanwhile, Gaara notices something strange. One of the paths he had defeated came back to life. Pain used his gravitational powers to pull him downward. That would work up to a point. But even being pulled, nothing would stop Gaara from attacking the Deva Path, forcing him to move or lose balance. Gaara could also create his protective sand barrier, completely surrounding himself, while the summons attack from behind, all intercepted by the automatic sand, which reacts on its own and defends its master. Keep in mind, Gaara was strong enough to block Madara's Susanoo blades. These summons would be no problem. Gaara then notices one of the paths standing, still behind the one that had just pulled him, without using any known ability. This makes him more observant and analytical. Did the human path revive itself, or did someone bring it back? Unaware, Gaara tries to trap the Asura path from below. But with shared vision, the body jumps before being hit. Surprised, Gaara launches attacks from all directions and finally captures and crushes the enemy. Even so, pain revives the bodies once again. Realizing the cycle, Gaara decides it's time to seal them all. He flies and unleashes the sand tsunami, swallowing everything. The 6 paths, the summons, and the entire terrain. All are crushed, and Gaara finishes with sand burial, ending the battlefield. The shared vision makes any long-distance attack useless. And you might be wondering, what if the Deva Path uses the Shinra Tensei that destroyed Konoha? The answer is simple. He wouldn't have time. The pain paths don't have enough speed to escape. An attack as massive as the sand tsunami. Even if Nagato used Shinra Tensei, he'd have 2 options, both bad. Destroy the tsunami, but sacrifice to the other paths, since the power consumes too much chakra and leaves the pains temporarily deactivated. Even in Konoha, Shinra Tensei didn't kill weaker ninjas, and Gaara with his protective sand would easily withstand it. When the field settles, the other paths are shut down, and Gaara simply seals the last bodies with his sand. Now you might think, and what about Chibaku Tensei? Once again, it would be useless. That power creates a core that attracts rocks. But if you're above them, you can just fly, jump, or keep your distance until gravity stops acting. The only truly effective Chibaku Tensei is Sosuke's, which turns the enemy into the core itself. In Nagato's case, the core is external, and Gaara could easily escape. Moreover, we've seen Madara use several of those powers, while Gaara remained unharmed, even with the ground rising into the sky. Finally, even if the battle started with all 6 paths on the field, the Preta path couldn't absorb sand. It's real, physical matter, not pure chakra, just as shown when Madara couldn't absorb it and had to rely on the Susanoo. Gaara can use sand from anywhere. In the desert, he controls it in massive quantities. In forests or plains, he simply digs into the soil and creates his own weapon. With all this, the conclusion is clear. Victor Gaara of the desert.